I wore Lattafa's Art of Universe for an entire week straight, and here's what I have to say about it. What's up YouTube, and welcome to my channel, E Smells Good. If you enjoy fragrances or you enjoy fragrance related content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date on everything that I post from here going forward. This past week, I challenged myself to wear one fragrance for an entire week, and that fragrance was Art of Universe from the house of Lattafa. And wearing this fragrance for an entire week gave me an opportunity to test it in so many scenarios that otherwise would have taken me quite a long time to do. I was able to wear this fragrance dressed up, I was able to wear it casually, I was able to wear it to work, I was able to wear this to the gym, and I was able to learn a lot about my experience with this fragrance over that week. Also, I figured what better way to give you all a true review of a fragrance other than to actually go out and wear it for an extended period of time. Now, I will say that anytime I post a full review to this channel, I have at least worn that fragrance for 3 to 5 full wearings, but I usually space it out over quite some time. This was my first time wearing one, at least since I've had this channel, for a week straight. We're talking 7 consecutive days. Now, I will say, as far as how close this fragrance is to Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman, I cannot say.
Move this man!
I have not gotten my nose on that fragrance yet, and I've been on the hunt for a sample at a good price and just have not seen one that's at a reasonable price yet. But when I do find one, I will get it and do a comparison of the two. Now, as far as the box and presentation goes for Art of Universe, it's going to come in a white box like this, and it's really just a slick plastic shell that has the fragrance bottle on the outside, and this is textured. You can feel all the bumps and grooves in the design itself. And when you open that white box, there's another box inside. It's kind of this dark blue, hard shell plastic with a silver plate that reads Lattafa Pride Art of Universe with the Lattafa emblem. This opens up almost like a book, and the fragrance rests inside like this. Honestly, I think for a fragrance that I paid less than $35 for, that is outstanding presentation. Much better than what you would get for a lot of designer and even niche fragrances that you're spending upwards of $100, $200, and even $300 for. Now, as far as the bottle goes, you get this dark blue, very, very hard glass, and it has this almost mirror-like design where you have some planets there. You have Earth, I believe that's Mars, Saturn, and they're very reflective, almost mirror-like. And it is textured. Some of these planets are actually raised up, and you can actually feel them if you run your finger across the design. Overall, it does to me look very, very nice, very well done, and like they put some thought, effort, and energy into the design. I will say, and I mean this in a positive way, for my sneakerheads out there, the design kind of reminds me of the Nike Dornbecker series. It almost feels like they asked a kid to design a Lattafa bottle and this is what came up with, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I absolutely do love the design. The cap does fit fairly snug. I would not necessarily recommend that you pick it up by the cap, but if you had to, it has not dropped for me yet. And the sprayer is decent. You know, it's not pressurized or anything, but you do get a decently wide and far projecting mist. Now, as far as the scent goes, this one is extremely fruity, very citrusy in the opening. I have the notes pulled up off to the side. In the top, we have mandarin, bergamot, mint, and ginger. In the mid, we have pear and orange blossom. And in the base, there's some musk, some amber, as well as some cedar wood. In the opening of this one, it comes across extremely fruity and a bit fizzy at times. It almost smells to me like some sort of a fruit flavored soda. Now, to some people, that sweetness might be a turnoff. You do have to like fruity and sweet scents if you're going to be a fan of Lattafa's Art of Universe. Now, personally, I am a big fan of it, and I do believe that it is a combination of that mint and that ginger that's kind of playing together with those citrusy and fruity notes to give this almost soda-like fizz to the fragrance. And this is one of the first fragrances in quite a long time where the opening genuinely blew me away. The first time that I actually sprayed this one when I got the package in, I was genuinely shocked by how much I loved that opening. Now for me, that fizzy-like accord, it does not last a very long time. I only get, I would say, maybe about 30 minutes tops of that sweet, fizzy, fruity accord. After that, the fizz dies down and I still have a sweet, fruity nature to the fragrance. And as it's drying down, more of the pear and the orange blossom come into play. Once it's fully dried down, I lose a lot of that juicy, fruity nature. The fruits are still there, but they're much more on the back burner of the fragrance. I'm now left with a very woody, ambroxan heavy, musky scent that just has a touch of fruit to it. Overall, I would say that the fragrance DNA and the way this one is structured, it reminds me a lot of blue style fragrances. Think of fragrances like Coach for Men, Blue de Chanel, Acqua di Gio Profondo, only this one is much more on that sweet, fruity line. I would have to say this is probably the sweetest fresh fragrance that I have in my collection. Overall, due to that fruity sweetness, this one ends up carrying a very lighthearted and playful nature about it, for me at least. Even though I would not hesitate to wear this in a professional setting, it also still works very well for me casually. There's just something about those fruits and that fizzy nature that just makes the fragrance a bit fun for me. And maybe that's why they went with such a fun and invigorating design, is because this is a very fun and invigorating fragrance. Now, as far as occasions that I think this is best suited for, I think that it is surprisingly versatile for how sweet it is. During the week that I wore this, I was able to wear this fragrance in a variety of temperatures and a variety of occasions. I think the coolest day that I had with this one was in the 60-degree range, and the hottest day that I had with this one was pushing closer towards 90 degrees. So that's a pretty wide range. And honestly, it worked well in all of them. I was a little worried about that day where we were getting close to 90 degrees, and I thought this was going to be too sweet and too dense of a fragrance for the high heat, but it still worked really well, even with the heat and with the humidity that was in the air. This one pushed through and smelled really good on my skin. Something else that wearing it for a full week allowed me to do was to wear this fragrance in numerous different settings. Now, the first day that I wore this was just a really casual, chill day. I went out and got some lunch, I recorded a few videos, and then I went to go hang out with my girlfriend. Chill day. Another day this week, I wore this fragrance to church and I watched my little cousin get baptized. So I was able to wear this dressed up. In addition to that, I wore it completely dressed down with a t-shirt, some jeans, and some Jordans, and I went to go see a movie with one of my homeboys. Now, of course, workplace varies for everyone, and what you would wear in a workplace varies. For me, I work in healthcare, so this would not be the first fragrance that I would reach for as a healthcare worker. But I think for anyone outside of that, you could definitely wear this in a workplace setting. Just be controlled with the sprays. And as far as wearing this one to the gym, it would not necessarily be my first fragrance that I would recommend someone wear to a gym, but it is fresh. There is a fresh and fun nature to it, and for me, that worked well enough in the gym. Now, in terms of performance, this one is strong. The first day that I got it and I sprayed this one a few times in the air, I darn near choked myself out with the fragrance. And my first time wearing it out and about in public, I did about 8 or 10 sprays, and I was told by my girlfriend that I smelled good, but I smelled very strong. And I typically spray a lot, so for her to actually make a comment about how strong I smelled, I knew that it was something serious with this juice. But after that experience, I dialed back my sprays with this one, and I had nothing but positive experiences going forward during the week. As far as projection goes, this one projects pretty far for the first hour or so of the fragrance. And then around the 2 to 3 hour mark, it dries down to have more of just a scent bubble around you than actually projecting out to other people. Now, where I found that this one was extremely good is sillage, even into the far dry down of this one. It's one that as you walk around, you're still kind of leaving a trail behind you. This one for me is a sillage monster. And as far as actual longevity goes with this one, I'm getting about 8 good hours with the scent, and then around the 9 to 10 hour mark, it's now a skin scent for me. Keep in mind, this is a new bottle, so there is a possibility that as it sits on the shelf and matures, I might get even more performance out of it. But for me, and the majority of things that I do in my life, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours is pretty good for me, and this is getting me well past that. Now, as far as occasions and how I could see this one being worn, to me this is a pretty versatile scent. Barring that very sweet opening, there's really nothing about this fragrance that would make me not want to wear this in a variety of settings. As I said earlier, I wore this one to a church while I was dressed up. I also wore this just to go to the movies in a casual outfit. I've worn it to work, I've worn it to the gym. There's really not anything that I think this fragrance could not be worn for. Now, of course, what everyone's work environment looks like is very different. For me, working in healthcare, the sweetness of this one is not going to be something that I'm going to want to reach for very often, even though I will wear it again to work. But just take that into consideration when you're trying to think of what situations you will be able to pull this off in. In terms of who I could see wearing this one, because of that very, very sweet and fizzy opening, it does lean a little youthful to me. Now, that's not to say that an older or more mature person could not pull this one off. In fact, I think really anyone could. Just to me and my taste, I think that the sweetness of this one makes it lean a little young. All in all, when I take into consideration the presentation, the bottle itself, the fragrance that's inside, how much I enjoy it, and the versatility that I'm getting from it, I absolutely love this scent. I am a huge fan of that fizzy, soda-like fruity accord in the opening, and the woody, musky dry down that this one has does wonders on my skin. If you can find this one for around that $40 or less price tag, I think that it is well worth the purchase. Overall, I'm really glad that I gave this an opportunity to be in my rotation for an entire week. It gave me an opportunity to really experience this scent and really dive into it at a level that otherwise I don't think I would have had the chance to do. But that's going to be it for this video. Drop a comment down below and let me know, have you tried Lattafa's Art of Universe and what are your thoughts on it? As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It does so much to support the channel. And until next time, peace.